Hello everyone, Weather Jamaica here. Welcome to this updated video on the weather across Jamaica and the rest of the Caribbean. It is 10:57 p.m. Monday, July 1, 2024. Now before we jump into it, please ensure that you guys like the video. I'd really appreciate it if you guys get this video up to 100 likes. If you don't know by now, that's how the YouTube algorithm works. We all like the video and then the YouTube algorithm pushes the video out to more persons who are in the path of this system so that we can keep everyone safe. Share this video with your friends, your co-workers, your relatives, and even your church brethren, and subscribe if you haven't yet done so. Leave a comment down below letting me know that that's been liking your ear recently. Also, feel free to ask any weather related question that you might have about the future of the weather in your specific area. Alright, so the big story on everyone's lips today is Hurricane Beryl. And as of the latest advisory, the 11 p.m. Atlantic Standard Time advisory, which is actually the 10 p.m. Jamaica time advisory, it is a category 5 hurricane packing maximum sustained winds of 160 miles per hour, and it is moving towards the west northwest at about 22 miles per hour. And we see that it should be here across portions of Jamaica or to the southeast of the island by 8 a.m. Wednesday. It should be right here across the maybe southwestern portion of the island by 8 p.m. on Wednesday. So definitely Wednesday we're going to be feeling the brunt of it. It should be here to the south of Hispaniola by 8 p.m. on Tuesday. And we see that they've issued a tropical storm warning in the blue for sections of the southwestern portion of the Dominican Republic, sections of southern Haiti, and a hurricane warning in the red for sections for Jamaica in general, not sections, all of Jamaica, definitely under a hurricane warning as we speak. So this is very dangerous, a bad situation unfolding, especially considering that it's still going to be labeled as an M. What's an M? An M is a major hurricane of category 3 to 5 strength, and we can have catastrophic damage from such systems. We don't want that at all. Power outages, damaged buildings or houses, even loss of life. We don't want that, but it's going to be happening. You can see Beryl right here spinning away across the eastern Caribbean with the donut eye in the middle. And if we take a closer look of Beryl right here, we can definitely see the thunderstorms reaching as far as the Leeward Islands. Some outer bands definitely affecting sections of the US and British Virgin Islands, sections of Puerto Rico, Anguilla, Antigua and Barbuda, section of Martinique getting in on the mix. And we can see Jamaica right here, definitely in the clear, setting the stage for what's to come with this system. If we take a look, a closer look of Beryl, we can definitely see the thunderstorms associated with her. The sparkling white dots we know represents a amount of lightning strikes, if not lightning flashes, and there have been persistent lightning strikes, lightning flashes around her center. So it's definitely quite the light show for anybody in there or anybody out to sea or out in space seeing all of what's taking place. And if we take a look at this one right here, this one is actually showing the latitude and longitude lines, and we can see the 13 degrees north latitude, 14, the 15 and so on. We know Jamaica is about 18 degrees north, and we can definitely see that this system is moving more towards the west northwest, so it's not moving west at all. So it should definitely make it closer to Jamaica than anything else by Wednesday while it's on this path. If we take a look at what took place today regarding Beryl's passage through the Windward Islands, we can definitely see that it definitely spared Barbados the worst, even although Barbados was so far from the system in general. Look at this. Barbados just got a few squalls, and the Barbadian or the Bahan Prime Minister actually came on TV stating that there was damage to houses, and if this system's eye is going to be closer to the southern portions of Jamaica like what is being projected, and we get some of these yellows and greens. That's if it actually stays together. We're definitely in some big trouble. Definitely some strong tropical storm force winds, if not hurricane winds for us. Either way, we saw that it definitely made landfall across portions of the Grenadine Islands. They definitely got the brunt of it, and we're gonna be seeing more pictures and images coming out on on Tuesday regarding the damage across those countries. If we take a look at where the wind shear is expected to be regarding this system, we definitely see the wind shear map right here. We know the wind shear has to do with the upper level winds destroying the tops of these thunderstorms, which is why we like wind shear. We want the wind shear to tear these systems apart. As of right now, it has a pressure of 969 millibars, that where it is at with category 5 strength, and it is in an environment where it's producing its own wind shear, as we can see in the blue. There's little to no wind shear around it, as we can see more whites than anything else by the key on the bottom right. We know the wind shear, the intense wind shear that is represented by the greens, yellows, oranges, red, and we see a lot of that across portions of the northeastern portion of North America. But we do see more blues than anything else. The blues can definitely do some damage to these systems, but look at exactly what unfolds with Beryl as we go out in time. So we definitely see that it makes it closer to Jamaica, but we start to see some blues coming in from the southwest. So it's definitely trying to tear Beryl apart. So look how the pressure is even rising up. When the pressure rises up, we know that the system is definitely weakening in general. But as we can see from the latest update, the Hurricane Center still has it to the southeast of Jamaica as a major hurricane. So I'm assuming that with the latest pass as of 1 hour ago, they haven't, installed those updates into the supercomputer models as yet. So we're gonna be seeing the updates coming in for the 0Z run and the 6Z run, as we just saw with that map, which was actually the 18Z run, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, the 18Z run. So it's gonna be reflecting with the intensity, and they have done that already regarding the forecast map. So we'll see exactly what unfolds. Either way, we see that there's an abundance of dust across the Atlantic in general, more so across the main development region, where we see those darker shades of brown. And for right now, 11 p.m. Jamaica time on Monday, the system is right there across the Eastern Caribbean. As we go out in time, we can definitely see that it is not being affected by the dust at all, especially considering that it's not a vigorous plume. But as soon as Beryl is out of here, we know the dust is going to be following, and we can even see the curl associated with that other system behind Beryl. We'll be talking more about that one later on. Either way, we can definitely see that it had done a number on the Windward Islands in terms of the tropical storm force winds in the gold colors, stretching all the way from St. Lucia southward to Tobago, while the hurricane force winds were mainly focused across sections of Grenada and the Grenadine Island. So we know how these things go already. The hurricane force winds are usually more so near the center, and we can definitely see where the system is expected to be in terms of the tropical storm force wind, anywhere from Cuba southward across Jamaica smack dab in the middle of it. We can see the probability for the tropical storm force winds definitely has Jamaica. We know this has been fluctuating all week. It has definitely, well, not all week, all weekend it has been fluctuating. Got some of Jamaica in the yellows, greens, then back in the reds, then back in the purples. We've been talking about this. We can see it fluctuate, and they still have it, making it passing to the south of the island. If we even remember Hurricane Dean and Hurricane Ivan, they actually had those systems projected to hit us, but both systems actually missed us to the south. I wonder if, now that they have the system projected to miss us, if the system is going to hit us instead. You know what I mean? Either way, we can see the path that it took, definitely a westward track, more so north than west, and we see where it's located right now, definitely making its way towards the west northwest to Jamaica. And if we take a look at what the supercomputer models are showing, this map for the euro, we're just going to be going out to the next 72 hours. That's the next 3 days, and we're going to be looking at Beryl. Beryl is right here across the eastern Caribbean. So on the 18Z run of the euro, we can definitely see that Beryl was forecast to hit the island on this run. Keep in mind that all week the euro has been showing more so missing Jamaica than anything else, but look at this latest 18Z run. That is crazy. What does the GFS show for the same time period? Something similar, but more so across the southern portion of the island. But we also see the brunt of the weather with those yellows, oranges and reds across Jamaica instead. So let's backtrack a little. GFS has it hitting Jamaica. What time is this? This is 0Z on Thursday, which is actually 7 p.m. on a Wednesday. What does the GFS show? Something similar, but more so with that system off to the west of the island than anything else. So we see that the euro is a bit slower, the GFS is a bit faster with where the center of circulation should be regarding that time. Either way, we see that the maps are forever changing. This, even although Levi Cowan told us not to make decisions with this, it is showing more of the spaghetti models to the south of the island. The 18Z runs having the spaghetti runs smack dab in the middle across Jamaica. And regarding the intensity, it is at category 5 now. So this one is still stuck at 135 miles per hour, which is actually category 4. So it isn't even reflecting the updates as yet. Either way, it is still forecast to weaken, especially with the wind shear that's expected. So we can see definitely trending downwards to category 3 within the next 2 days. Maybe category 1, we see majority of them down to category 1 by the next 84 hours. We'll see exactly what unfolds. I'll definitely be here to keep you posted with how it actually goes. Either way, there's a lot of rainfall in store. They're finally showing that portion of the Caribbean that includes Jamaica. We see the yellows, we see the greens that we can see by the key on the right. That represents what, up to 2 to 4 inches of rainfall in the green, up to 4 to 6 inches of rainfall, or 100 to 150 millimeters of rainfall in the yellows, and the golds that show up to 68 inches of rainfall, or 150 to 200 millimeters of rainfall. And we see the heaviest rainfall should be affecting sections of eastern Jamaica. Well, that's according to this updated map from the Hurricane Center. What do the maps from the Euro and the GFS show from now up until 18Z on Thursday, up until 1 p.m. on Thursday? We see the Euro showing more of that rainfall off to the east and the north of the island. Yesterday it was more off to the south and west, while the GFS is having it hit the island in general. We see the GFS still holding strong with its prediction. Either way, we see all the purples, we see all the pinks that represent anywhere from up to 3 to 6 or 7 inches of rainfall. Ridiculous rainfall that can cause landslides, flash floods, mudslides, or whatever the case may be, river flooding. So we have to be prepared in general for all the strong wind, all the heavy rain that is expected. We didn't expect to see a hurricane so strong this soon. We expected this bad weather in August, September, October. Not in big July at all. June, July. Either way, I hope everyone stays prepared. If we take a look at the U.S. National Hurricane Center 7-day graphical tropical weather outlook, we can see that we still have that system that has been trending down in terms of the intensity forecast, or the probability forecast. It was at about 70% chance for cyclone formation within the next 7 days. And we see that it has gotten a bit disorganized, most of the focus being placed on Beryl. So I guess it is letting Beryl shine. Debbie won't be imminent at all. So it states here, disorganized showers and thunderstorms have diminished somewhat in association with an area of low pressure located over 1,000 miles east-southeast of the Windward Islands. Environmental conditions only appear marginally conducive for additional development of this system, but a tropical depression could form during the next few days while it moves generally westward at 15 to 20 miles per hour across the central and western tropical Atlantic. Interesting, the Lesser Antilles should monitor the progress of this system. And we can see it right here. Not much thunderstorms associated with it at all. More grays than anything else that represent little to no rainfall. But we definitely see that the models are showing that it should be making it within the next 72 hours. That's the next 3 days. Close to Jamaica. We just have to take these forecasts with a grain of salt because we know that it might not happen at all. Even this run showing it more to the south of the island. In terms of the intensity, most of them don't even make it up to tropical storm force or tropical storm intensity at all. Maybe by the end of the next 96 hours we start to see it trending upward. We just have to stay updated to see exactly what unfolds. Not every system is going to be developing, and we're indeed grateful for that. Imagine if every system that comes off of Africa was developing. We couldn't live in the Caribbean anymore. That would be ridiculous. Either way, it looks like we're not going to be getting Debbie. We're grateful for that. Let's give us a break in July. We need it because this June has been crazy. Alberto, we have Beryl now, no, and then we just had Chris quickly before it entered into Mexico. Alright, so let us switch gears now. Let us focus our attention on what was predicted in yesterday's video about the weather across Jamaica for today, Sunday, June 30. If you remember yesterday's video, we stated that we would have had some morning rainfall, all courtesy of a tropical wave affecting sections of eastern Jamaica, and then the tropical wave would have brought some rainfall to sections of some northern and western parishes. So we can definitely see that the tropical wave is now off to the west of the island, as we can see by the line right here. We can see the ridge of high pressure to the north that's responsible for sending all of the easterly trade winds across the main development region into the Caribbean. Not to mention responsible for sending all of these systems from east to west. The tropical wave, the Hurricane Beryl, and the other system that came off of Africa that the Hurricane Center is watching. All of these are pushing from east to west because of the ridge of high pressure up here. If we take a look at the map right here regarding what was predicted, so we know eastern parishes, we're talking about those parishes in the county of Surrey, so Portland, St. Andrew, Kingston, St. Thomas. Western parishes, we're talking about those parishes in the county of Cornwall, so Hanover, St. James, Trelawney, Westmoreland, St. Elizabeth. While northern parishes, we're talking about those parishes on top, so Portland, St. Mary, St. Anne, Trelawney, St. James, and Hanover. And what ended up happening? As early as 3:30 a.m. I woke up to rainfall in my parish of St. Thomas. Some rainfall right there in the green, some yellows in there that represent some moderate to heavy rainfall, as you can see by the Cuban Doppler radar images. And even later on throughout the day, we saw that the forecasts were coming true. At 1:05 p.m. this post was made on our Twitter page at Weather Jamaica. By the way, these posts aren't only made here on our Twitter page, but on our Instagram page at weather.jamaica, on our TikTok page at Weather Jamaica, and on our Facebook page at Weather Jamaica 876. So if you have one of those social media platforms, please ensure that you follow us there, as we make posts throughout the day that you can't afford to miss. And I'm sure you've been seeing these posts going viral recently. Either way, we saw the visible satellite image that was posted at that time. We see the sparkling yellow dots that we know represent some amount of lightning strikes, if not lightning flashes. Definitely has some thunderstorms across sections of St. Anne, sections of Trelawney got in on some isolated shores, sections of St. James definitely got in on some strong thunderstorms, not to mention sections of Hanover as well at that time. But it definitely got even more intense as the afternoon progressed. Started to see the infrared satellite images being posted showing thunderstorms even spilling into sections of northern Clarendon, northern Manchester got in on the mix, sections of western St. Mary, St. Anne, sections of Trelawney, St. James, Hanover got in on some of that. And even by late afternoon, as this post was made at 5:25 p.m., we still saw some thunderstorms across sections of Westmoreland right there. That deep convection, the high cold cloud tops as represented by the blues, greens, yellows, oranges, reds, and the blacks, not to mention the sparkling white dots. So they definitely had some thunderstorms across sections of Westmoreland, even spilling into sections of Hanover again at that time. If we take a look at the visible satellite image of Jamaica before the sun went down, we can definitely see the clouds right there exiting the island at that time period. As it relates to what's happening right now, we don't see much taking place. A fair night, seeing the stars as we speak. The Cuban Doppler radar images not showing much either. Just some stray showers here to the south of the Cayman Islands, some stray showers there to the north of Cuba. That's just about it for rainfall. In terms of the temperatures right now, we can say we have 27 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 26 degrees Celsius in Kingston, and by about 4 a.m. on a Tuesday, temperature should dip down to about 25 degrees Celsius in Kingston, 26 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay. As it relates to the temperature forecast for tomorrow, it makes sense that Jamaica is going to be quite hot tomorrow. We see the orange colors that represent anywhere from 1 to 3 degrees Celsius above normal. We know the temperatures are usually hotter right before a storm. It's definitely gonna be baking tomorrow for sure. This map from the GFS is showing 1 p.m. on Tuesday, so stay out of the sun, stay hydrated as much as possible before Hurricane Beryl gets here. We know the average temperatures for the month of July across Jamaica are about 91 degrees Fahrenheit. 91 degrees Fahrenheit is about the same as 32.7 degrees Celsius. So we should be receiving anywhere from 32 to 35 degrees Celsius at most for Jamaica's temperature on Tuesday. As it relates to the Saharan dust forecast for 2 p.m. on Tuesday, we see the browns that represent the Saharan dust across Jamaica right here, but it is not that intense. What we don't want to see is those darker shades of browns that represent that vigorous plume that we can see across portions of the main development region. That we know causes hazy skies, that we know can trigger asthma or sinusitis in some persons, that we know that we don't want to see at all. If you take a look at the wave forecast for tomorrow, both the Euro and the GFS are in consensus that we should be receiving those blues surrounding the island that we can see by the key on the bottom right that represents anywhere from 1 to 1.5 meter wave heights. And that's because the winds are not going to be that strong at all. We're starting to see the influence of Beryl, with the winds coming more so from the northeast than anything else. It's usually expected. We have the system producing an air of low pressure. So we have the air curling around it just like this. So it makes sense that we're going to be having more northeasterly winds, especially on the north coast tomorrow. Definitely windy on the north coast. Definitely hot on the south coast in general. And we see that the winds for Jamaica are definitely going to be averaging anywhere from 10 to 15 knots, as we can see by these dull greens and those bluish colors in general. But we can also see some blues across sections of some southern parishes. So that could mean that the air from the northeast is going to be piling up across sections of those parishes, making way for some isolated afternoon rainfall. And we know southern parishes, we're talking about those parishes on the bottom side of the island. So sections of St. Thomas, St. Andrew, Kingston, St. Catherine, Clarendon, Manchester, St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland could get in on some isolated showers. And if we actually take a look, we didn't see much in the way of rainfall for the morning, but we can rule out some isolated showers for northeastern Jamaica, given that northeasterly flow, that relief rainfall as usual for especially Portland as usual. But we do see the afternoon rainfall consensus for sections of some southern parishes. This map from the Euro and this map from the GFS are both showing 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is actually 3 p.m. Jamaica time. And we see the dots of blues that represent rainfall across section of Manchester, Clarendon, St. Catherine, section of Kingston, St. Andrew. GFS has more of that rainfall across section of St. Catherine, section of Clarendon as well. Either way, we see consensus with some portions of southern Jamaica for tomorrow in terms of rainfall, and we'll take it. We are in the month of July. This was the map that I was referring to yesterday. This map is actually showing the two cities in the island. So the map at the top, Kingston, the map at the bottom, Montego Bay. Even although the precipitation is in millimeters at the top and inches at the bottom, we know how it goes already. If you look back at what the Hurricane Center showed, this is what it means. So don't get confused. So we know Anywhere from 1 to 2 inches represents anywhere from 25 to 50 millimeters of rainfall. So just know that an inch of rainfall represents or is equivalent to 25 millimeters of rainfall. So we can see that for July we should be getting in Kingston maybe up to 50 millimeters of rainfall at most. For July in Montego Bay, it should be up to 3 maybe 2 or 3.1 inches of rainfall. Either way, that's definitely definitely much more than what Kingston is expected to receive. If I'm doing the math right, tell me if I'm doing the math right, somebody. So yes, that's the point. We usually have a drier period in July, which explains maybe why the invest behind Beryl is starting to wrap up its act, because Beryl is definitely enough. We definitely saw the ramp up with the secondary rainy season in May and June, especially in June. And we're expecting that we're going to be receiving more rainfall in our primary rainy seasons from August through to October, especially October we see right here. So we'll take all the rainfall that we can get to do something about the heat that we've been experiencing, but we don't want a hurricane at all. Alright, so let's switch gears and talk about the rest of the Caribbean. So as stated, we have a lot of clouds bringing some showers to sections of the Leeward Islands. I'm sure that's what they want more than anything else. They don't want the hurricane that the Windward Islands got at all. And if we actually take a look at the Doppler radar images of the northeastern Caribbean, we can definitely confirm that rainfall that we're seeing on the satellite images. Those greens, yellows, oranges, reds that represent some moderate to heavy rainfall affecting sections of northeastern Puerto Rico. The San Juan getting into action as we speak. The British and US Virgin Islands, St. Kitts and Nevis, section of Guadeloupe might have gotten on some rainfall earlier. And if we take a look at the Barbados radar, we don't see much happening at all. Definitely clearing out based on what they got today, and I'm sure that they're grateful that it wasn't that bad across Barbados. But if we take a look at the weather view of Doppler radar images, we're definitely going to be seeing Beryl coming in soon on the Puerto Rican radar, if not on the Dominican Republic radar, if not on the ABC Islands radar. So very soon, maybe in the morning, we'll definitely see Beryl's eye somewhere on one of these three radars. And we can see some rainfall right there across sections of the Yucatan Peninsula, northwestern Guatemala. Some rainfall as we speak across sections of northwestern Venezuela. That little pond of water right there, that's the sea that has always been producing a lot of thunderstorms almost every night, if you actually do your research, across northwestern Venezuela. But that's another story. You can see some rainfall right there across Colombia as usual. If we take a look at the forecast for the waves across the Caribbean for tomorrow, it makes sense that we have those purples, those reds, even up to whites that represent what? Anywhere from 2 to what? Maybe 10 meter wave heights. That's incredible, if I'm not mistaken. And that's because of the winds. Category 5 hurricane winds. That should be right there to the south of Hispaniola, pushing towards the west-northwest towards Jamaica. So it all makes sense. Wherever the winds are the strongest, that's where the seas are going to be churning up. And if we actually take a look at the accumulated precipitation forecast, we see that this is what it's going to be doing from now up until 10 p.m. on Tuesday. So definitely pushing towards the west-northwest, towards Jamaica, bringing some of that rainfall to sections of the northeastern Caribbean. The Leeward Islands getting on more rainfall, Puerto Rico, the Dominican Republic, and Haiti. And the thing is, we see that both the Euro and the GFS models are in consensus with this forecast in the rainfall. Those purples out to sea, but it's out to sea more than anything else. So it's definitely just affecting the fish than anybody else. Alright, so unfortunately, I won't be able to post much updates tomorrow on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok page, any one of those, even the YouTube platform, because I'll be traveling. I'll be traveling from Kingston to Montego Bay. I actually have plans at a hotel, definitely vacation life. I'll definitely be bringing my laptop with me. Hopefully they have decent internet at this hotel, that's all, and a possible generator just in case there is an outage. Either way, that's it for now. I'll definitely be back if I can very soon. Thanks for watching.